Hey guys, it's your favorite girl Nia Imani here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a chit chat. Get ready with me. Common misconceptions of influencers that I have, that you have. I don't know, I asked you guys for your first impressions of me on Instagram, and a lot of the questions were about me being an influencer, but I also had stuff in my head that, you know, the common misconceptions that people have about me, and then some of the common misconceptions just I might have as well. So enough with the rambling, let's get into this look. What's up, y'all? I know I look like I got this crazy like unibrow thing going on, but that's neither here nor there. My hair is looking fluffy rather than how you guys usually see it, but I did use a different product for a wash ago, but that's not what this video is about. So today I'm gonna be trying some new makeup. I've done a review of the Jackie Aina palette on here, but I've been playing it some more, and I will be reviewing Fenty Beauty's new primer and foundation while also doing a chit chat. So something I did realize about you guys, you prefer when I talk about topics on here rather than reviewing makeup. That's not really what you guys want to see me. Y'all want to see me doing hair, vlogging, and if I do my makeup, I have to talk about a serious topic or just a topic in general, because other than that, y'all could really care less for it, which is not a problem. Like, I'm completely fine with that, because I wouldn't even consider myself a beauty guru or anything like that, or like even a beauty YouTuber per se, just because I love beauty like so much. Yes, but like, you know, that's, I guess that's just not my niche, that's not my specialty, so that's fine with me. I'll accept that from you guys. We'll see. So basically what I wanted to do, I came on here and I want to talk about just some like impressions that you guys left on my last video, not my last video, but on I asked you guys on Instagram, and if you aren't following me on Instagram, be sure to do so. Today I want to do like a green look, but yeah, so let me pull some of them up and I'm gonna start talking about it. So yeah, I've seen a lot of YouTubers just doing like what's your impression about me, stuff like that. So my friend Jazz, she said brands only reached out to you, not vice versa. I feel like that is a very common misconception when it comes to people who are influencers, and even influencers themselves. As an influencer, sometimes you can feel like, well damn, since no brands are reaching out to me, I must not be talented. And that's not always the case. Sometimes you're just not on people's radar, you know, like sometimes you have to shoot your shot. And I talk about that a lot in my book, like how to pitch yourself. It's okay to put yourself out there and, you know, say, hey, like, I'm interested in working with you. That's how I've been able to get a lot of brand deals and work with a lot of different brands, or just become like friends of brands, because I decided to take the chance to follow them, to post them using their products, just stuff like that. So it's like that, I think that's a really big common misconception, that you always have to be the one waiting for people to reach out to you. If you sit around waiting, you're gonna be waiting your whole life. So I definitely think that that is a common misconception when it comes to influencers. Okay, so my friend Sade said she thought I was balling. No. So I think we talked about this before, but like I think even just as I've been working since I was in like high school. So the reason I think that's a common misconception when it comes to influencers, because a lot of times, if you are not like high ranking, and if your views are not getting like thousands and thousands upon thousands of views, you're probably not making that much money, in a sense. When it comes to like, I would say comparing influencers like salaries and stuff like that, it just all depends. Some people could have a smaller, you know, following and they get consistent pay, but it might be a little bit lower. So a lot of times influencers do have additional jobs outside of just vlogging, outside of YouTubing. But yeah, so if you know, are not constantly working on campaigns, and like say you have like, I don't know, you get a few views or you post a few days out the month on YouTube, you're probably not gonna get a check that's, you know, not $1,000. Like I would get checks that were like 1,000 and up when my views were, or my videos was getting 100K plus. So like, you know, that can just compare. Like to right now, my following, my videos don't get those amount of views, but if you do get those amount of views, then most likely you are getting consistent pay. So I do think that is a common misconception when it comes to influencers, that we be balling. Some do, you know, but a lot of times some people, they put on for social media, because it is, you know, social media, that's just what it is. You know, people want to look like they got it. It's all about, you know, just living a lifestyle that you do have or you don't have. For me, that doesn't really, for me, that won't do anything for me. If I don't got it, I don't got it. I'm not gonna act like I got it, just because I don't like that. But I mean, if it works for you, go ahead. But when I do got it, you probably still won't even really know that much, because I'm just not such a like show-offy person. I don't really like that. But yeah, I think that's just definitely a really large misconception when it comes to influencer. All right, let's get a little closer. I just cut the crease method. I usually don't film that because that would just take forever. All right, so the next question that I got, or impression I got, is that you will struggle before you ask anyone for help. Very independent. So that question or that comment is very true, and I think that is very true. I just got done watching Julesie's video. If you guys don't know who Julesie is, I would definitely check out her content. She's a YouTuber on here. She's been on here for a while, and pretty much what she was discussing is how she just gets a lot of anxiety around being an influencer, or just being a person who likes to do things on their own, simply for the fact that a lot of times people have screwed her over. So I would say like the reason I'm so independent is just because like at a young age, I feel like my parents kind of just showed me like, we don't have it, so sorry, you know. And what that makes you feel like, well, like, damn. So I won't say that I will never fix my lips and sit here and say I cannot rely on my parents, but in a sense, I feel like a lot of people who come from my parents, well, my mother, she moved to America when she was a child, so she was an immigrant, you know. Like her family is not from this country, and they haven't been established here for a very long time, and they didn't come from wealth. My father's family, they weren't wealthy, and I feel like a lot of people of color can kind of agree with this situation, or like these comments, that a lot of times our parents don't have money, and they put the stress of money on us by like the stress of thinking that we can't acquire money, or that, you know, everything related to money is bad because they never had a good experience with money, because they never had enough money. So basically I feel like that's what kind of caused me to be very independent at a young age. I've always been a very bossy person, and I've always been very strong-willed. I am a Capricorn, but that I feel like kind of really showed me that, you know, I need to get it on my own. Just seeing my parents not be able to provide me things that I wanted, especially growing up as a teen. So yes, I am a bit independent. Like, do I want to be? No. And that's why I want to segue into this conversation, because Julessie was basically saying that she doesn't, you know, she had a manager, she doesn't have a manager anymore, or like she wants to do things alone. And when you try to do so much stuff by yourself, you never end up being so productive. These are my thoughts now. You never end up being truly as you never end up being as truly productive as you need to be, because you're trying to fit so many shoes. And that's something that I'm trying to really learn early on, because I do want to be, I would say I'm going to be a beauty and media mogul, and in order to do that, you cannot do that alone. So I recently brought on a manager to kind of help me facilitate with like sponsorships, and just securing opportunities for my brand. Just because I can't do that by myself. Like, yes, I can create a media kit, and I can, you know, decide that I want to send out 100 emails, but the time that I'm taking to do that, I could be essentially paying someone who does that amazingly, who can negotiate amazingly while I'm actually creating content. So when you take so much time to do things that you can get other people to pretty much, not get people to do, but bring on people to help you, because you are great. You know, you're going to always be great no matter what. But you're going to only slow down your greatness if you feel like you have to do everything. You know, the reason businesses work, the reason that, you know, life works is because we have multiple people who do great things. You know, yeah, imagine like, yeah, your nurse is good at being a nurse, but you need a doctor. You know, you need a surgeon, you need to go to the dentist, you need to go to a therapist. You can't, yeah, what if that person could do all of those things, but how helpful would they be if they were trying to fit so many shoes? So I say all that to say, like, just stop being so independent in a business sense, but also stop trying to be so independent in your relationships. And I don't mean to be trying to get too deep, but I know a lot of times, you know, just based off of like the statements that I said, oh, I could do it by myself, I've always done it by myself. If you have a friend that's trying to help you do something, allow them to help you. Are people gonna sometimes be shitty and not, you know, pull through all the time? Yes, we're people, no one is perfect. But don't let one sour, you know, opportunity that you, not opportunity, but occurrence that you had with somebody kind of hinder you from, you know, trusting people again. So I think all in all, just being too independent does not necessarily, it's never going to ever work out in your favor. Yeah, it's cool to do everything, but you think Beyonce does everything? Like, Beyonce sometimes don't even write her own music, but guess what? She sings it because she's great. The record sells. So just kind of look at your life like that. You know, you cannot do everything. And as long as you continue to think that you can, you'll never be able to expand like beyond where you are right now, because you're trying to focus on doing everybody's job, you know. And granted, that also comes with like resources. Like, yeah, you might not be able to pay. And I know we talk about how, you know, free internships or free labor can be exploitative, especially when it comes to people of color. But I'm gonna be real with you. I had an internship that I didn't get paid for in college. But later down the line, that internship in return became into me, you know, getting paid opportunities to work with brands, getting, you know, flown to different places. So although it might not have been paid up front, it still came with opportunities. And then also it's a great way to, you know, get a chance to learn. So don't feel like, you know, you can't offer somebody something just because you can't offer them money. You know, you could get help by bartering. You know, that's what we do. We trade and we barter. So I don't know, like, I don't really mean to get off on too much of a tangent, but just stop being so independent and thinking that you're alone. You have people out here that are able to help you. You do have resources that are at your fingertip. If you don't know something, Google it. If you want to find somebody to help you build a website because you can't build a website, Google somebody that can do that. Like, you don't have to do everything by yourself, because if you do, you're only going to burn yourself out. Okay, so I put on some lashes. These are some lashes I got from at BeautyCon by Kiss. This is the Naked Drama Collection in the length chiffon. So now I'm going to be taking the Fenty Beauty. This is their True Matte Primer. I usually use the Soft Matte Primer, but that one is more like a moisturizer. I did try this one on in the store, if it'll come out. I did try this one on in the store, and it was honestly matte. Like, my skin had this very nice, I would say, like, just drying feeling, so I definitely like that. But as I'm rubbing this in, because I thought I was gonna be talking about being too independent for the whole video, I think I do have some more things I could talk about though, and it's already like drying down, so that's really cool. But I will say, like, some other common misconceptions, just because I don't have any more from my impressions, I would definitely say would be that influencers are not real people. Like, people think that, you know, we're supposed to just suck it up and just take what people say to us, and I think that's very rude, because like a lot of times people say really weird stuff to you on the internet. I mean, sometimes people don't know boundaries when it comes to people who are like on the internet. Like, I'm still a person, so like, just thinking that you could say anything out your mouth to somebody and not expect them to have a reaction, I feel like that's very inconsiderate. You know, some people really be like, I'm gonna just say whatever, because if you say something wrong, that's basically going to make you look like a bad person, even though I'm a human just like you. And I mean, with that comes, like, I definitely pick and choose my battles when it comes to certain stuff, because some stuff, honestly, I would say just does not need your energy. But sometimes, like, even meeting people in person and they say something that's off the wall, I just be like, that's, you know, I'm not really sure who you're talking to. And when I snap back, I would say I'm like very like, I'm not a woman of many words, but the words that I do say, you're gonna feel me and you're gonna understand what I'm saying. I don't know what's peeling. It might be that serum. Okay. All right, so now I'm taking Fenty Beauty's new foundation. This is in the shade 450. I'm gonna just let you guys know right now, the shade was a bit red / dark on my skin, but it was kind of like upsetting just because I've used this shade in the other collection that recently came out, so I wasn't kind of understanding why it wasn't my truest shade, but that's besides the point. I'm still gonna wear it. So far the primer does feel pretty good. I would allow it just a little bit of time to kind of dry down. All right, so for me, I would say another thing, or like a common misconception of YouTubers, is that people are their true selves on the internet. And I feel like I kind of touched on this a little bit, but it's not true. Like, some people, they think that, you know, if they create a certain personality for the internet, that it will kind of give them a success, because they see, you know, what's working for one person is making their, you know, career grow, that, oh, like, it'll work for me. That's not true, you know. That's not true. And a lot of times it could work short term, I would say, but in the long run, people will start to see through that facade. And if you're constantly trying to, you know, be like somebody else, you're gonna always have to wait for their next move to make yours. And doing that is never going to allow you to win. Like, if you're gonna be yourself, that's the only person that you could be, you know? This shade is so much darker than me, I feel like. I don't know, y'all let me know how y'all feel about the shade. But yeah, I think that can be applied to in anything, like in life. Like, if you're always waiting, like it's one thing to seek inspiration. Like, I'm inspired by so many people, especially here on YouTube. But like, I can even say for myself, at one period of time, I felt like, you know, my channel wasn't growing. And if you consume so many people's content, I feel like at some point you start to like gather, okay, well, this is working for them, so let me try to implement it on my channel. And I mean, that's kind of what I did. I implemented things that I felt will work for my channel, but also, you know, in conjunction with my actual personality. With some people, they will literally actually just take everything that the next person is doing and just put their name on it and say, hey, like, this is who I am. And that's just not going to help you be successful at all. Like, it's great to be inspired by people, yes, but I don't know how many times I can say, you can only be yourself. And you can only, like, the key to anything in life is your authenticity. So if you always, you know, take a route where you're not being your best self, then that's just what's gonna happen. I would say another common misconception that people have about us, whether you're a freelancer or, you know, any type of creative, is that everybody has it all together, everybody's rates are the same, and, you know, like, the industry is the same. And I don't really think that to be true. I feel like some people don't know coming out what to do, and I feel like that is not good. I feel like, you know, yes, this is a relatively new industry, but you need to do your research if this is something that you're interested in, because it's very easy to be manipulated in any type of industry, especially when you're creative, when essentially people can tell you how much they're going to pay and you can either say no or yes, or you can negotiate. But some people just either say yes to low wages, and I feel like that could be applied anywhere, but people will say yes to low wages, or they will say no and then kind of feel bad, but, or, you know, like, a lot of times desperate times causes for desperate measures. So people will say yes, and I've done that before in the past, but it's important that you, like, kind of know what's going on in the industry before you decide to say yes to something. Okay, let me bronze up my face because right now I'm looking very ghostly. I did set the powder like this just because that's where I know that I'm known to crease, so that's what I wanted to make sure I set. So I wanted to come back on here and finish chatting with you guys. I almost wanted to, I guess, delete this video. Like, I kind of felt like I'm not talking about nothing nobody want to hear, and I feel like when it comes to being a creative, sometimes we can really get in our heads. So I would say, I wouldn't even call this a common misconception, but I would just say this is something that I would feel like a lot of creators go through. You create a, you know, content, you take the time out to, you know, sit, get yourself together, and record, and like, you feel like sometimes people don't want to, you know, watch your content. And I won't sit here and say like people won't watch your content, because a lot of times people, you know, not even people, it'll seem like you're like shitting on the people that already support you. But I don't think a lot of people's goals is to, you know, get millions of views, but people want to be visible, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be visible and wanting more people to see your work. Like, I never want anybody to feel guilty for that being a thing of theirs. But I will say, you know, and that's particularly, I'm saying that just because, like, a lot of times, you know, the people that already will support us will say, well, damn, are we not enough? And I don't think that's necessarily the case, but a lot of times, you know, you'll feel like the work that you're doing is not getting a lot of, you know, views. So a lot of times influencers will, I would say, or just people in any type of creative space will sell out. So they'll start creating, you know, content that will appeal to mainstream people, but it's not really the content that they want to make. And you see that in music when it comes to, you know, people crossing over to pop. They don't really want to do pop, but it's just because that's what the masses, you know, and the masses being white people, that's what they want to see. So if they want to, you know, get more money, they want to make more sales, they want to be more visible, of course they're going to have to sell out. So that's what I think a lot of times people do here on YouTube. They start, you know, doing these prank videos or doing a lot of things that are trending. And not to say that doing things that are trending are wrong, but it'll just be content that doesn't even necessarily align with what you're doing to to start being more visible to the masses. So like sometimes you'll see people's pages, they'll put a prank video, right, and the prank video gets 100,000 something views, then they'll upload like a vlog, the vlog gets 1,000 views. So people are only looking at that prank video because it's essentially, it's a trending type of, you know, content, opposed to your vlog. Those people are, those same people that's watching that trending video, they're not interested in you. So it's kind of like, it's a sellout. You really just, people are not attracted necessarily to your personality, they're attracted to what's mainstream right now. So I want to just give that to a message to influencers. If you feel like you're not visible enough, if you feel like, you know, what you're doing is a waste of time, those types of things, get that out your head. I think the focus needs to be creating content that you like and actually connecting with people who enjoy what you make. Whether 1,000 people see it or 20,000 people see it, just stay connected, keep doing the work that you enjoy, and honestly just literally just living your truth. Like, you know, for me at one point, and it was this tweet, it was basically like my depression made me fumble so many bags, and I talk about that a lot on here. Like when I got depressed, I stopped doing content, and I felt like, you know, people were very invested in me as a person, and then I kind of went away for a while, and then it was like, we're good, we found another hot YouTuber who does hair, we don't want to watch that content anymore. So it's like I try to go back to posting my vlogs, and I mean, I will only say like this past week I've been more consistent than I've been this entire summer. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, success is going to happen overnight, because it's not. So even though I've reached 100K and I've, you know, had millions of views, things are still different on my end, and I'm working hard, because yeah, things are different, but it's either I'm going to choose to give up and choose the easy way out and be upset because, you know, I'm not getting the same amount of support that I used to, or I'm gonna, you know, regain my momentum. So right now I'm on the track of regaining my momentum. So don't lose that. You know, if you really enjoy it, keep doing. But, you know, I would say hard times will shift out. I mean, not shift out, sift out the people who really want it and the people who just want it for clout. All right, so this is the finished look. I use MAC's Chestnut lip liner, and then I use MAC's Velvet Teddy, and this is how I'm feeling, y'all. So I used a mousse to do my hair, and okay, I like the definition. No, I don't like the definition. I like how my hair looks. I like how fluffy it looks. I like how it's really pretty and Afrolicious. I'm feeling it. I don't like, it's just not as moisturized, but you guys will see that tutorial later. Anywho, thank you guys for coming to the end of this video. I don't know what to say, really. I would just say, like, if you're creative, if you're an influencer, you know, just keep going. If it's not the life for you, pivot. If you know, or it is the life for you and this is something that you want, you have to work hard, and sometimes you do have to pivot, and you have to really just sit down and assess, you know, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, because you don't know everything. And it's nothing wrong with saying tomorrow I'm gonna just switch it up a little bit, try something different. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. Keep doing what you love, put your passions at the forefront, and don't live a life, you know, don't live beyond your means, and don't live your life for others. You know, live your life for you. So that's all I have to say. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out my podcast, Brand Like a Girl, on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.